Welcome back, SethBling here. I've got Amy with me. She's going to help me do this. This is a submission video for Awesome Games Done Quick 2018. This is a submission for Super Mario World 11 Exit, and it's going to be a race between two different strategies, which is pretty unusual. The strategy you'll see on the right will be my Cloud personal best. Cloud is sort of the normal strategy for 11 Exit. And then on the left, you'll see me executing a code injection, which is sort of like a task strategy, but I'm going to be doing it real time with my controller. Amy's going to be helping me out later on. She's probably going to be playing around on her phone until then, because she doesn't have to do anything just yet. The cloud run in the at the marathon will probably be done by Area 51 or Aaron, who is the world record holder in the category using the cloud strategy, which is the fastest non-cheating strategy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. 3, 2, 1, go. I have to point out at the very beginning that you're going to see Aaron do a glitch at the very beginning in the first level called the item swap. And what it's going to do is put a glitched cloud item into his item box at the top of the screen. And that's where the name of the strategy comes from for Aaron's strategy. So watch out for that right up coming up here. We had a AGDQ race 2 years ago involving 4 players each doing the cloud strategy, and the reason we needed 4 players back then was because at that time it was not marathon safe. It was very easy to crash the game, and I think somebody did crash the game. But there you go. You see the cloud runner now has a glitched item in their item box, and that's a cloud. So from here, the Cloud Runner is going to continue through the game and go through Star World, which is sort of like Super Mario World's Warp Zone, go to Bowser's Castle, and in the Bowser fight, they will be using that glitched cloud item to really glitch out Bowser's AI, and it cuts about a minute off the fight, so it's a very big time save. So that's the normal route, and that's the fastest route that doesn't use glitches that are not allowed in the category, which is what I'm going to be doing. So this is sort of like a showcase, the code injection parts, the run on the left that you're watching. So I do need to beat this level, but once I beat this level, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to play this level again. I'm going to do some glitches in this level and the level you just saw me do, and I'm going to basically incrementally glitch out the game more and more until I have a little miniature cheat engine installed, and then I can use that to try and catch up with the Cloud Runner. So I'm going to look like I'm falling behind, but hopefully I'll catch up later. The first glitch I'm going to be doing is called power-up incrementation. Normally Mario's power-up state is 0, 1, 2, or 3, where 0 is small, 1 is big, 2 is cape, and 3 is fire. So currently I am Fire Mario, so my power-up state is 5. Power-up incrementation lets you increment Mario's power-up state. So from 3, I'm going to perform power-up incrementation and go to power-up state 4, and then to 5, and then to 6. I'm going to execute power-up incrementation 3 times. And once I've done that, I'll be in power-up state 6, which is a very useful power-up state because it lets me glitch out the game even harder. So here's the glitch. There's a couple difficult things about this trick. The block duplication to get 2 Yoshis to spawn at once is frame perfect, and if I miss that, it's okay. I'll start the level over. It'll be a bit of a time loss, but it's not a huge deal. However, I also have to spit out a null sprite while standing at a specific X coordinate on the moving brown platform, and so that's a little bit more serious because if I miss that, there's a 7-frame window right there, and if I miss that 7-frame window, I will crash the game, and I'll have to start all over. But I've gotten it twice, I just need to do it one more time. But once I'm in power-up state 6, the reason that that's useful is because whenever you collect a power-up in this game, the game looks at what the power-up is that you collected. So there I missed the block dupe, but it's okay, I'll just start select and redo the level and try again. When you collect a power-up in this game, like say a 1-up or a mushroom, the game looks at what the power-up is and what Mario's current power-up state is, and it decides to run some code based on those 2 factors. And so in power-up state 6, it's a glitched power-up state, and it runs code from kind of a weird place, but basically the long and short of it is I'll be able to run code from the sprite X coordinate table. So upcoming here in Yoshi's Island 2, you're going to see me eat some red shells and spit them out. And what that's doing is setting values in the sprite X coordinate table. and those values are going to look like code to the game. And so I'm actually going to run some of my own code when I collect a 1-up. And I'm spitting out 3 shells at specific x coordinates to write 3 bytes of code. And then when I collect this 1-up, it'll run those 3 bytes of code. In this case, what it'll do is it'll change Mario's power-up state from 6 to 22. So there we go, I'm in power-up state 22. Once I'm in power-up state 22, I can do more of these arbitrary code execution glitches a lot faster because instead of collecting a 1-up, I can trigger arbitrary code by collecting the mushroom. So what you're going to see me do here is set up some more code in the sprite x coordinate table that I'll be able to trigger by collecting the mushroom. And each time I collect that mushroom, I'm going to overwrite 1 byte of the game's code that runs every frame. And I'm going to do that 6 times. I'm going to collect the mushroom 6 times and overwrite 6 bytes of the game's code in order to install a miniature cheat engine. And Amy here is going to help me demonstrate that. She's going to help me by manning one of the extra controllers. There's actually 3 extra controllers plugged in, and she's going to be pressing buttons on one of them, upcoming shortly here. And the buttons that she presses will control which byte of the game's code gets overridden. And then I'm also going to be positioning Yoshi, and Yoshi's x-coordinate will determine what the value is that gets overridden at that location in the game's code. So right up here, we're gonna be doing that and overriding 6 bytes of the game's code. This is very similar to what TaskBot does when it installs like Pong or you good? Okay. When it installs like Pong or Snake or Mario Maker or whatever. This is in principle very similar, but I'm only writing 6 bytes of code, whereas those do like a kilobyte or 2. Good? Okay. So there's 2 bytes. 3 bytes. Okay. 4 bytes. I'm overwriting a graphics routine. That's why the graphics have started to glitch out. And here's the last one coming up here. Okay, that's it. So now she's actually going to switch to a different controller, and now we can use that cheat engine to start to catch up with the Cloud Runner. The Cloud Runner is already in Star World, but as you'll see, we're going to catch up pretty quick. What the cheat engine does is it lets us write values to different places in RAM depending on what button she's holding down on this extra controller. So she's holding down a certain set of buttons to trigger the normal exit for the level, and I get to beat the level and continue on. There's also a different combination of buttons you can use, as you see here, to trigger the secret exit, because we need to trigger the secret exit a bunch of times to get to Star World, and also each level in Star World requires us to trigger the secret exit. I want to take a moment to thank Mr. Cheese, who came up with a lot of the techniques involved in this. Dots Are Cool's done a bit of research on this. P4+2 and Master June are big people for doing this sort of thing. Our arbitrary code execution stuff. Jeff W356. The arbitrary code execution stuff you saw me do earlier, by the way, is very similar to the way that it works for the credits warp. Here we're doing a bit more work to install this cheat engine so that we can actually complete the 11 exits, which is sort of like completes the requirements of the 11 exit category. Though these techniques are technically banned because, well, they didn't used to be banned, and then I did a variant of this run so that they would get banned because nobody wants to do all this arbitrary code execution stuff in this category that's really supposed to be about good execution. So I'm cheating a bit, but here we've just caught up. In fact, we've just surpassed the Cloud Runner, who's just finishing up Star World 4. Do remember, however, that the Cloud Runner will have that cloud, which saves a minute off the Bowser fight. Okay, so here we're going to use a different button combination on Amy's controller. Here, with that button combination, she can make me invisible and invincible now, and so I can just run on those spikes. Here's a different button combination which we can use to glitch out the crushers, and I can just jump right through them. They don't have a hitbox at all. So I was able to rush a little bit through those rooms a little bit faster than... Whoops. Okay, that's all right. No, it's not okay. Okay, well, I died, but it's pretty bad because the Cloud Runner is actually now going to be entering the Bowser fight quite a bit ahead of me. And remember, they get to save a bunch of time. Can you... okay, good. All right, but might be salvageable. We'll see. Remember, I do have a cheat engine now. cheat engine installed, so I've got some tricks up my sleeve. Alright. Am I good? Okay. Alright. So there, you'll see the Cloud Runner now using the cloud. Whoops. Get through the door. Using the cloud. And they're going to be glitching out Bowser's AI pretty hard. I'm just going to take this slow. Oops. Okay. So they're already in the Bowser fight, but we do have a trick up our sleeves. Namely, we can instantly defeat Bowser. Here's Princess Peach. We actually did win the race. I kind of misled you. Thank you, Amy, for helping me out to demonstrate this. So even with some pretty major mistakes, I was still able to beat the Cloud Runner, and that's the power of code injection. Yeah, this is very similar to what TaskBot does. AGDQ has never featured any sort of like human code injection, to my knowledge, where you actually modify the code that gets run every frame in order to kind of change how the game works. So there are the Cloud Runners finally finishing up. Aaron might finish a little bit faster. He's a little bit better than what my PB is, so this is. I really hope this gets into AGDQ 2018. It's like this really cool technical showcase. If you don't really care about all the technical mumbo jumbo, you can watch the Cloud Runner, which he should have really good execution, and it's still fun to watch. And you can just ignore what I'm talking about until I start beating all these levels and catching up, and it's a pretty exciting moment. And you get to see all these different ways that we can cheat with this really minimal code injection. So like I said, Aaron is probably the person who's going to be submitting, and he's got the world record for 11 exit. Dots Are Cool will hopefully be, he should be manning the extra controllers for me at the marathon. He's done a lot of work with arbitrary code execution and credits warp and all that stuff too. So he's very knowledgeable. He'll help me out with the commentary as well. And also he'll be verifying that all those pixel perfect things that I'm doing are correct so that I don't make a mistake. I did do a live stream like a week or two ago where I tried to do 10 runs in a row in under 10 minutes or 11 minutes. And I got it, except for in the very last run, I actually did crash the game. But with Dots Are Cool watching to make sure that I don't, I basically spit out a shell 16 pixels to the left. It's like the same pattern on the ground, but I was looking at the wrong like bump in the ground. So, but with Dots Are Cool helping to make sure that I don't do something stupid like that, I really think this is very marathon safe. And again, even with some major mistakes, I'm able to catch up and make it an exciting race. So I really hope that the submission makes it through and I'm able to show this really cool stuff off at AGDQ 2018. Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Mr. Cheese. Dots Are Cool, Aaron, all those people. And thanks for watching.